On to the next big geopolitical question. Will there be a conflict between the Koreas in 2024? Will North and South Korea go to war once again? This question crops up courtesy a recent remark by Kim Jong-un. On Sunday, Kim addressed a key party meeting to set state goals for next year. During his address, the North Korean leader declared that he will no longer seek reconciliation and reunification with the South. Allow me to quote his exact remarks. "It's time for us to acknowledge the reality and clarify our relationship with the South. I believe that it is a mistake that we must no longer deal with the people who declare us as the main enemy and seek only opportunities for our regime's collapse and unification by absorption, by collaborating for reconciliation and unification." That's not all. Kim added that the policy goals for his government in 2024 include the launching of 3 military spy satellites, producing more nuclear materials, and building modern attack drones to advance North Korea's military goals. He says, "Our army should deal a deadly blow to thoroughly annihilate the enemy by mobilizing all the toughest means and potentialities without moment's hesitation if they opt for military confrontation and provocation against North Korea." So how do we view these warnings from Kim? Is he actually preparing for war? And if yes, what does South Korea have to say? I'll answer these questions one at a time. To start with, some experts say that boosting nuclear capability would give Kim another big chance to launch a diplomacy summit with the United States. He could use the nuclear capabilities as a bargaining chip and extract concessions from the White House, especially if Donald Trump ends up winning the US presidential race. Long story short, ramping up production of weapons could become a negotiating card for Kim in diplomatic talks with the United States. Now, that's one assessment. The other assessment is that this is purely a step in self-defense. You see, during his speech, Kim also cited the expansion of US military exercises with South Korea. He's worried. And the temporary deployment of powerful US military assets like bombers and a nuclear-armed submarine in South Korea. North Korea views these developments as a threat to its very existence. Perhaps this is why it wants to, quote-unquote, annihilate its enemy. Now, here's the thing. North and South Korea have been cut off from each other since the end of the Korean War. The war ended in 1953 with an armistice. Since then, the two sides have still been technically at war, but both governments have long sought the goal of reunifying one day. If we speak of bilateral relations, they have ebbed and flowed over the decades, but tensions have remained high in recent years, after Kim Jong-un ramped up the country's nuclear weapons program in defiance of international sanctions. So in 2024, expect more of the same, more threats, more tests, more tensions. What about war? Well, so far the possibility remains bleak. There could be a temporary round of tensions, but we don't see it spiraling into a full-blown war. But then again, it's just the 1st of January. If the last 2 years have taught us anything, is the likelihood of two sides going to war has increased now more than ever. WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.